of our economy, the exclusive nature of policy pronouncements. And then the question that I have for Dr. Webster is then, where is the cohesion? You are told to move on, but you're being left out. At the same time, the army is forcing you to jump in. So, I mean, so where is the cohesion that I'm trying to talk about? So what are the alternatives then, Dr. Webster?
Thank you, my brother. Luckily, I do not have slides. I don't use PowerPoint because sometimes PowerPoint corrupts. Thank you very much, my dear sisters. You spoke so eloquently on these issues, and I don't need to be going back to what you already highlighted. And I want to thank BRICS, Trust Africa, and colleagues for convening this meeting. I'm meeting my good old friends. I recall when I saw Joy coming in, I recall meeting Joy Mapeng and Dev Malungisa on some bus in Kukura bus in 2000. They were running around on Jubilee 2000 campaigns. I didn't know them before then, and we started talking. I think coincidentally we sat next to each other and we started having interesting arguments. I'm happy that we have continued on our paths, and I see my friends here in 2001, that's 17 years ago, Chiseke Kasambala was teaching me human rights. So I'm in a space where it has been my wish for a very long time. I work for the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation in Cape Town. We are a think and do tank that came out of the South African TRC. And we have been working in Zimbabwe ever since. So we are, without having to blow our own vuvuzela. We are the only think tank that has worked in Zimbabwe consistently. We have produced 4 books on Zimbabwe. We have produced a community healing manual. We have produced many monographs on Zimbabwe. And I work here in Zimbabwe, besides being a Zimbabwean myself. I come to Zimbabwe at least 8 times a year to work with partners in civil society, government institutions, UNDP, and the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. So when I was asked to speak on social cohesion and national healing, I did not say no, because this is an area that is also in my veins. And you asked earlier, is the country ready? I think my response to it, I've worked in 16 countries across Africa that are in situations that are sometimes mostly worse than ours. I would say the moment you want to say the country is ready, perhaps you don't need it. You don't need national healing when you say we are now ready for national healing. We need to go to other places that need it. We need it now when things are still bad. Are you getting it? Cool. And one of the things that we need to deal with is the culture of enemy-centric patriotism. Enemy-centric patriotism goes back to even the time of Ian Smith, liberation movement, and recently I saw one interesting quote from Benjamin Mulombo, who was one of the leading nationalists in the mid-40s to early 50s. He said, I have 2 hands. One hand is fighting colonialism, but my other hand is fighting my fellow Africans. That tells you where this issue of lacking cohesion starts from. And I think we were both fortunate and unfortunate that this transcended into our liberation movement and independence, and it has engulfed our state as what I call Mugabeism, to run short of civil words. Mugabeism, I find Mugabeism in ZANU-PF, I find it in the opposition, I find it in civil society, I find it in Dynamo's Football Club, I find it in various societies, where instead of focusing on what unites us, the main purpose is to find who can be against us, and we deal with them. We deal with them. If you go to student politics, BRICS knows that most of the current political leaders, when they were in Zinasu elections, I was the one who was presiding over those elections at UZ. And in the critical period, what I saw there was shocking, but it was all resembles what we went through. So this fault-finding culture, which you aptly described as normalizing the abnormal, is one thing that we need to deal with soon. We have got a trust deficit. I don't want to speak much about that. And What I would say, because we have got funders here, is that the issues of social cohesion and national healing are not events. They are processes. If you will come to IGR with your funds and say, Webster, we've got a 1-year program you should do in Zimbabwe to promote national healing, I would accept it, because that's where my salary may come from, but I will accept it with a heavy heart, because I know that it doesn't work that way. It has to be a mid to long-term process. And also amplifying on the locals, because context matters. Local intelligence, community intelligence, values and traditions. Build on the locals so that they can deal with their issues in your absence. Is there conflict anyway? So we need to build their capacity. The other issue perhaps that I want to refer to, both in the institutions that I work with, is how the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission that we now have could enhance the possibilities of people starting to talk together. Is the understanding that the work that the commission is going to do is not to coerce people into a certain direction, but to be a catalyst that could allow us to start doing these things on our own. We shouldn't need a national commission or a government to tell me that I need to greet my neighbor in the morning, or to be friendly to my family members. These are things and values of Ubuntu that we have lost over the years, that we need to go back to the basics. And we need to go back to the basics. You talked of changing attitudes, behavior, and the like. Those things take time, but they are an ongoing process. They are like our health. You talked of cholera and the like. When you go to hospital and you get healed, don't go back and forget about your health. You also go back and start eating properly and exercising and the like. So it's a daily routine that we are dealing with. But because of time constraints, I just want to say the road to social cohesion and national healing is long and winding. And that road is called justice and reconciliation. It's a road that has stops and stations. And some of the stations include reparations, memorializations, restitutions, forgiveness. These are stops that we need to identify, and not every survivor or victim needs to be at the same stop or at every stop. One stop will be for others, another stop will be for others. It's not a linear thing. And that road passes through a bridge. That bridge is called truth. If people don't know what happened, so what are they reconciling on? And I've always had the question whenever I present on how far back should the commission go. I've said, no, that shouldn't be the issue that stops us. We need to go back as far as those issues that make us fail to go forward. That's my response. How far back? I don't know. But as far back as to those issues that make us fail to go forward. That will make us think about the context. And so you can't find someone in Mashonaland Central say, I can't get forward because of Gukula Hundi. I'll tell you that you never experienced Gukula Hundi. So let us go to the geographical space where those issues are failing, people are failing to go forward because of that period. So we will not have a uniform national healing and social cohesion process. No, it is going to be contextual and also will involve local actors who would know the real issues that are making them fail to move forward. Then the other issue is on how many years out. In civil society, we always want to run with the topical issues. Sometimes we debate about the 10-year tenure of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, and we now have 5 years left. And I've always said, these commissions to have 10 years has been very generous. The South African TRC actually had 2 years. The general trend is that maximum is 4 years. So we've got 5 years to do what is right. We have enough time to do it. Do we have political will? Do we have the support? Do we have the energy? And that is where we should concentrate our lives on. And just to conclude, I'll say, I'm a Galtung fan. I was taught by one Galtung, and recently reminded me that in a dictatorship, people tend not to believe their leaders, even if what they say may be correct. And in a democracy, people tend to believe their leaders, even if what they say is sometimes wrong. So the issue of democratizing space remains at the core of our developmental aptitudes that we need to ingrain within civil society and in state at large. I think we have to deal with other issues in the question and answer session if it comes. I will rest here. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. I have my